Hey, what's up? It's Rashad Antonio. We are the Calrissian Kids, the Acolyte, episode 5, The Night, spoiler reviews. And when I mean spoilers, I mean Star Wars actually did something for a change that I was very surprised because I wasn't expecting this at all. When I mean they murked some main characters this episode, I was like, nah, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. And they did it. Not only once, but twice.
In violent, very violent ways as well.
Bro, like, yo, they broke that man neck. I was like,
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh,
yeah. It was very John Wick-esque, if I say so
yes,
myself. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. But overall, I really feel like just as impressions of the episode, I
Uh-huh.
wish we could have got this episode 2 episodes ago
Okay.
because overall, just the trajectory of the show was like building up to this,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like episode 1 and 2 could have been one episode. We could have
Mm-hmm.
got the witches in episode on 2,
Mm-hmm.
like all like, and then we could have had like it could have really had day and night as one like 45-50 minute episode
Mm-hmm.
instead of like breaking it up, because we got that cliffhanger that was just very unsatisfying last
Mm-hmm.
week, but it was kind of made up for this week because this week's episode, even though the story didn't progress narratively a whole lot, I was like, man, don't nobody care because the amount of action we got. I mean, for people crying about lightsaber work, crying about hand-to-hand combat, people crying about, oh, like, don't nobody be dying in Star Wars, don't or you know what I'm saying, you can take a lightsaber wound to the chest and still survive. Not this
Not
time.
this time. Nope.
Not this time. I just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rashad. No, go
No,
ahead.
you good. I just want to shout out all the red shirts we said last week was gonna die. All of them died. You know what I'm saying? Swiftly. Like I just
And two
also
yellow shirts too on top.
2 yellows did die. Tony, like I just want to talk about a couple of things about the fight choreography.
Mm-hmm.
One, we got Manny Jacinto
Mm-hmm.
is of course he's the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know he was that jacked. Like,
Yeah.
that's one.
Yeah.
He was hiding all that under them big clothes. You know what I'm saying? He had a
Pause.
yeah, you got it. Also, he definitely has like the definition of a sleeper build. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the way in which he was killing them folks was so funny, man. Like
Yeah.
he basically
The
got
skewer.
one,
The skewer is what
laser
that.
one, got the other one, force pushed him into the lightsaber, and was like, you
Yeah.
know what? You dead too, fam. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
And
yes.
then I believe he cut the heads off for good measure too, just to
Yes,
make
he
he
did.
cut the head
Yes. Yeah,
off
it
for
was off
good measure.
screen, but we know,
Yeah.
we know what you did. We
Yeah.
know what you did.
We
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
that
yeah.
blade go up high. We was like, oh.
Boom. Did him like Django Fett. You know what I'm saying?
Right. For that Jango Fett action. This episode, man, was just basically one big fight scene, basically. Just
Yeah.
one big fight scene. And like you said, nothing really progressed the story too much. It basically was just a continuation of the previous, I'm saying, episode. And because I know, okay, the people who really didn't have a problem with the show and they thought the show was cool, but last week was kind of felt underwhelmed because the episode went by really quick and it seemed like
Yeah.
nothing, and it seemed like it was a slow episode. Well, you got your fast-paced episode
Oh yeah.
this time right here.
It definitely like was a lot of walking and talking last episode.
Yeah, and I mean, I was trying to figure out where we were going to start, saying what was going to start from, because I mean, you just see Osha waking up in the middle of the forest after being getting a force push from hell from, you know what I'm saying, the master. And she looks and she sees one of the Jedi masters like laying there dead, and she's like, what the hell? And then she looks up over in the corner and she sees like, how many of was like 3 Jedis versus like this one dude, and he is like, he is washing their ass. I mean, he is like, and the thing is, it makes sense on why, because later on, our boy, horrible black man hairstyle that they use now, Yorg or whatever is in the Yord, he was like, I have never fought anybody like him before. He's unorthodox. He doesn't follow the rules of
He does
engagement.
not follow the rules. Like, and that's what's really was throwing him off. Like, fam, not like we're not doing like the normal
Like,
song and dance to this. You know what I'm
like the
saying?
normal duel and everything like that. So he said he was thrown off, but yeah, he was just doing everything. Like I said, I call it the Jedi skewer move he did when he, you know what I'm saying, he thrust it through, like you said, it was just awesome. He thrust it through one Jedi and he grabbed them and pulled them into the blade. Oh man, and then decapitated them on top of that. And you just see, you know what I'm saying, like all that's going on. And also going on in the meantime, you got what? What's the daggone May, like seeing all this inside Master Kalnaka's, like, you know, little starship hut thing, because she like, man, I ain't trying to go out there.
Nah, she waited till a whole bunch of them was dead.
Yeah. Also, what was also dope, I hope they explain it some more. For some reason, his helmet had some type of device or something in it that he would
Yeah.
headbutt the lightsabers, and the lightsabers would short out, and they couldn't. And like it took about what, like 10 seconds or so before the lightsabers came back on, yo. And I was like, the first time I saw that happen, I said, yo, did he cut the lightsabers? I said, no, he ain't cut the lightsabers. Then you saw it again, you was like, yo, he shorted them janks out, yo, for
Yeah,
real. So
it's a particular kind of metal. I forgot what it was called. But yeah, that's what happened. Like his helmet, and I think his helmet was made out of that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean, yeah, and I mean, and then, you know, May's trying to, you know, she decides, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna run for the hills right now. And she thinks she's running for the hills, and all of a sudden she get drop kicked by a girl. Janky Janky comes out there and straight up gives her like a Shawn Michaels super kick, drop kick, and she like what?
she really did, yeah.
And then Janky's going by the book. You're under, you know, reading her rights. You're under arrest. And she was like, for the murder of, and she just naming the, you know, the Jedi Master she killed, and then also said the murder of your family. And she's like, May's like, girl, if you don't get off, you know, get off me. And they have their little, you know what I'm saying, they little duel type thing. Janky ends up losing her lightsaber for a hot second, and they're going, you know what I'm saying, they've got to do hand-to-hand combat type thing or whatever. And then when she finally subdues her and she's about to, I guess, arrest her or whatever, here comes the master to save the day. And the master and Janky going at it. In the meantime, Soul and the master had fought earlier, and they became you know what I'm saying, it was a stalemate. And then Soul sitting there like, why don't you take your helmet off so we can see? He was like, so you can read my mind. So you can read my mind. And then, and in the same time, Yord, you know, Soul tells Yord, hey, get her out of here, take her back to the ship. And they're running back. And this is when I was like, okay, maybe it's not going to be who we are making it seem it's going to be. I thought maybe it was one of the sisters, you know what I'm saying? One of the witches or whatever. Because remember what Yord said? He said, yo, it felt like he was in my head, you know what I'm saying? In my head, and I couldn't do nothing. And then she was like, and Ocean was like, really? She was like, my mother used to could do that, and I saw it when I was a kid. Like that's what happened. He was like, yeah. And she was like, hey, we got to go back and help. And you know, Mr. Yord by the book, Master Soul gave me he gave me an order and a mission, and I'm going to fulfill this mission. So, you know, they still going, and by this time, you know, Janky is dueling with the master. And you know, shout out to Janky, yo. She held her own, you know, she held her own. for a good second.
You calling her janky is hilarious.
I know, man. Was it
It's
Jinky? What's the name?
Jackie. It's Jackie.
Jackie, Janky, Jackie.
No,
Oh,
because the Jedi was janky as hell this
yeah, they
episode.
were
So.
janky in this. Hi, hi, Republic, my ass.
This is the
Yo,
worst of the
this is.
Jedi.
I was like, well, you know what? Maybe because of say it, yo, it's been a long time
It's
since
been
they've
like
had the
900 years since
yeah, since they
anybody dark side been on the scene. So they just been, I mean, other than like the I think it's called the Null, but they not really like Sith.
yeah.
So
And,
yeah,
and then what he and then Jackie, like, she's doing her thing. And then next thing you know, the master, like, even there was a point because Jackie had took the lightsaber that May had stole from Kalnaka,
yeah,
and she
she
had
took
it.
that.
She took that, and Jackie used that kind of as a shorter blade. So she had you saw the smile on her face, like, oh, you done messed up now. And
Yeah,
she thought she
yeah,
was doing
yeah.
something, and she was. And then the master proceeded to he poked her multiple times. And I mean, you just see bink, 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 bink.
And what
And
was cool
Soul
about
was
that?
like,
Was cool about that, like, because she thought she had him right,
uh-huh.
and she backed her down, and he basically separated his lightsaber into two separate lightsabers, and was like, beep beep beep.
Yeah. And all you see from the back are the burn holes just coming through. And Soul
Yes.
saw it and was like, no.
Oh my God. Another
Yeah.
one of my Padawans.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
Padawan that
Yeah.
bit the dust.
Speaking of Soul, I just want to say Soul's still trash. And for so many reasons. One, because he's supposed to be everybody's master, and he's getting washed up. Also, the fact that they were just so ill prepared for this. I mean, again, we know that they ain't seen nobody in years, but even from the onset, from the in the last episode, why is everybody charging one dude? I'm like everybody was out guns a blazing, like the cops. You know what I'm saying? And then all of them got washed. And it just was real funny just to see like how hard it was going, and he really couldn't do nothing. Even when Soul and Manager Senso was fighting, he was not getting the upper hand at all.
This name Jimmy or something like that was his name.
Khmer.
Khmer, yeah, Khmer.
Yeah, Khmer. I don't know. Either way, he was messing with him the whole time, Like he basically was toying with him, and even he was like, "Oh, what master has a from his pupil?" And then your boy was like, "You tell me." Right. Just showing you how much stuff they've been hiding. And okay, I'm sorry. Going back to the last episode when they had Vanestra was like, it's like, shouldn't we tell this to the people sitting upstairs?
No, that's what Soul said.
Yeah. Vanessa was like,
we don't need to bother the High Council.
No,
we don't need to bother the High Council with this because once again, and this is where I think this might be the reason why the Jedi stepped away from the political side of stuff, because they tried their best to stay out of the politics in what we saw the Skywalker era. And this one, they seem to be more concerned because she was like,
they are fully enmeshed.
Because she was like, if we have to alert the High Council, then they're going to have to tell, you know what I'm saying,
the Senate
and all this stuff.
And
it's going to be a whole another thing. No, we just going to keep this between our little council right here. Also, I failed to mention that Jackie was the one who unmasked the dude to show his face. But after he done poked her up and everything, it was funny because everybody was looking like you, and like May sitting there looking, and he was like, "What's wrong? You didn't even have an idea or sense that it was, saying it was me." Type thing. And that to me was possibly the only letdown, because it seemed like, okay, we pretty much knew this by saying the last episode that this guy was going to be it. But I also feel like there might be something else bigger at play here because there's still what, three more episodes.
I believe so.
It's still three more episodes of this show, so it might be somebody else bigger at play. And
Because,
when
because somebody had to train him.
right, and it's crazy because Soul kept asking him like, "Who are you?" and like, "Why are you doing like what I'm saying? Who are you?" and "Why are you doing this?" And Kyle was just like, I guess you could say y'all would refer to us as Sith or
Yeah, he referred
whatever.
to me as a Sith. And he was like,
So
but
so here's so here is when he said that this is what I feel I have a question about, because this has been since what, episode 2-ish, 3, whenever we saw Jedi Master Calamundi or whatever, there has
Kiadi
been a
Mundi.
big Kiadi. I said Calamundi. God dang, Kiadi Mundi. Yes, I'm a fan. I swear these names are off the hook. Kiadi Mundi. There are a lot of people in the Star Wars fan base that are pissed off because if you go back to Phantom Menace, Kiadi Mundi, basically when after Qui-Gon encounters Darth Maul the first time, and he says, "Yo, the Sith is here," whatever. Kiadi Mundi says, "What are you talking about? There hasn't been a Sith in a millennia. Now this is 100 years
Beforehand.
before the Skywalker." So, a lot of people are like, "Well, whether," and then you see Kiadi Mundi's there, and they're saying that is Kiadi Mundi. So people are like, well, what the hell is Kiadi Mundi talking about? Like, what I'm saying, like, this now. So that's when I was like, okay, because at first I was like, all right, people, just relax, let's see what happens. But now that this guy has said that, I guess you could call me the Sith, it's going to cause even more of an uproar, because now it is confirmed that for the most part that this guy considers himself, or he considers himself, or he said the word Sith. So it's going to make me think now, okay, are they still going to roll with this? Or are they going to say, well, hey, this guy really isn't Sith. He's just a dark side user. You know what I'm saying, Rashad? Yeah,
Exactly.
is it good dark side user with this and that? So yeah, I know there has been an uproar. Hey man, in the comments, y'all leave y'all comments about it, and what y'all thoughts are about that in the comments, because that's if they remain that he is a Sith, that is a really big retcon. That is,
I don't. I'm like I two things where that could happen. Either one, they don't recognize him as a Sith, or two, they
everybody
just
dies.
don't tell Kiadi Mundi.
True.
I mean, like, there's such an easy way, because you already know they've been secretive about everything the whole time. So it's like
Right.
they just not going to they're not going to tell him, because he was like, yo, like, because he
Or
was there.
everybody could die except for the people to really report back what I'm saying, report back what
Oh
happened.
yeah.
So yeah, but like you were saying, being secretive, you even see it where Osha, her and what's her name came back. Her and Yord came back, and Yord has had his neck basically snapped by this point, and he's dead by Kymir. And Kymir is like, oh, you trust him? You trust him? Like, you trust him? Why you trusting him?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
keep on going.
why you trusting, like, why are you trusting him? You shouldn't be trusting him. You need to trust, what I'm saying? You need to trust me type thing. And when Yord and Osha set the trap for Kymir, and they attach a light to his back, because earlier on in the episode, when Osha and Yord were trying to get through the forest, the light was flat. He had his lightsaber up, and she was telling him, "Hey, turn your lightsaber off, man, because it's going to attract them." There's these type of giant bug, Star Warsian bug type things or whatever. So she attaches the light from her little small little robot thing that she carries around with to his back, and they all attack, Chimera and take him away. After that happens, Osha goes up to him and goes up to Soul and says, "Hey, why did he say I shouldn't trust you?" And he's like, got this look on his face, and he's like,
"Oh, I'm gonna tell you."
He says, "It's something I need, you know what I'm saying, to tell you." Meanwhile, while all that was going on, even before that happened, Osha came face to face with her sister again and decided to stun her with the gun again. Basically said she's under arrest and stun her. No, she stunned her with the gun again and knocked her out. And you kind of forget about May. And when like it seemed like Soul was about to tell Osha something important, that's when she comes to and she used the stun gun on daggone, you know what I'm saying, Master Soul. And so you have the moment of Osha and May face to face, confronting each other since what we saw happen at their temple. And May's and then like Osha's like, yo, I can't believe like we made, May's like, yo, we here, we're still alive and stuff. And then Osha's like, no, man, you burnt down the temple, you did this. May's like, yo, you need to relax. They really wiped your mind and they turned you against me. They turned you against me. And she's like, wait. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she was like, you don't remember what happened. They wiped your mind. Come on, sister. It's just you and me. We family. And then like, Osha was kind of trying to say like, well, they've been more family than you. She's like, no, I'm trying to tell you, your family, they, your peoples ain't what they seem. And so they embrace each other, and it seemed like they've made up. But Osha, she got trained under the Jedi for that time period. She daggone puts her sister like in a little armed bar type thing. It says, you are under arrest. Then May gets out, and they decide to have like a little mini fight, nothing type crazy. And it seems as if too, also throughout the episode, Osha's force abilities are starting to reawaken in
Yeah,
her
yeah,
a little bit or whatnot. And so in their little like I guess push fight or whatever like that, May is able to knock Osha out. And May says, you never did have a good defense, baby.
nah.
You never did have good defense. And May grabs the lightsaber that Kilnaka had, saying that was the one that she stole from Kanaka, and she takes it and she looks at her sister. And what does she do? She cut her dreads down to the same length as her sister. As soon as she did that, I said she's about to swap places with her, and that's exactly what she did. She swapped places. They changed clothes, swapped places with her. She goes over to Soul and was like, "Hey, we need to go. Let's go. This and that." And also in the meantime, Chimera was able to escape from those, Star Warsian bugs. Throughout the whole episode, though, you see Basil, the little,
tracker,
like, he sees the little robot thing that they attach to, picks it up and he sniffs it. And then he's going around following behind, Osha, which is May, and Soul going back to their ship, and he's looking, and he's like sniffing her from a distance, and then he's sniffing the little robot thing, and he like, nah, homie, that ain't who it is. And then in the process of that, you go back into the forest, and you see Chimera coming among the dead Jedi, and then he sees Osha, which he sees Osha, which he probably thinks is May, but I don't even think he really do think it's May.
I think he knows it's Osha.
Yeah, I think he knows it's Osha. He's talking to her while she's kind of coming to. He puts a cloak over her to keep her warm, and he says something to her. Oh God, what did he say? He says something to the effect of time to like awaken or something like that. And then the show ends.
He said, even in the revelation of our triumph, you see the depth of our despair.
Yeah, some Bars.
That is very poetic.
Yeah. And then the show ends, fade to black. So yeah. So the show basically ends with now OSHA is under the guys is under the OSHA, who don't know that Maiden took her daggone place, is now there with Chimere, and May under the guise of OSHA is now with Soul. I just want to say this. Like you said, it's showing that Soul is some trash as a Jedi if he's not sensing that's not his, that's not his former Padawan.
Yo, I really hope Soul dies next episode. I really hope Soul dies. Like he is, especially with all the stuff that we don't know he did but has done. Because and that's another thing too, is like, what does Chimere know? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does he know that? How is Chimere able to tap into that same sort of like mysticism that the witches had, but getting people's heads? Like, he is like the deciding factor for a lot of these things. Like, yo, like, because he was basically played the sisters. You know what I'm saying? He may have wanted to get the other sister anyway, because to be honest, she's gonna be the more malleable one anyway, and also the more gullible one, because she's like really super. Oh, I'm gonna arrest you. I'm like, fam, you're not even listening to me. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Right. So I just feels like she should probably she may go full dark side for real.
I also hope too they really fully explain who the hell he is.
They got
because the only thing he said was, I just wanted my own acolyte, and without the Jedi, saying that, get y'all out the way, I can, fulfill.
Yeah, I can do what I feel like doing.
I can do what I feel like doing.
I mean, just the same way. I mean, because think about it. Going back to how they're so politically tied into everything, they have laws that say, look, if your child is force sensitive, we can take your child and train them to be a Jedi. Like, it's illegal for them to do this. Also, nobody else can practice the force but in the way that they deem fit to practice the force.
And then remember too, when even though he still had his mask on and he was fighting Soul in the beginning, he sat there and said, "You don't remember me, do you?"
So again, this is another Padawan.
So this is another Padawan or something,
No, that is yo. What if it's another Padawan? Like, I hope they don't do this, but this could be another Padawan that was there with them when they went and got to wishes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He could easily been there. You know what I'm saying? Right. And they just kind of like, retroactively put him in the scene or whatever. Like, that could easily be the case. I hope it's not, because I hate stuff like that. But that could easily happen because he just knows too much.
Right. And like, and then May following him, not knowing, because May wasn't at the Jedi Temple. And this guy, what I'm saying, this guy was, like I said, we need to find out, number one, what the hell really happened that night at the witches temple. We need to find out who the hell Chimere is and what is his purpose, and also why the Jedi are coming off as janky that's the right term right here now, as janky as they are with how they are doing, doing things, and why, you know what I mean? Why things being the way they are. So yeah.
We got 3 episodes to wrap this up. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we'll get some decent explanation next episode. We can come to like a very satisfying conclusion, because overall the series is heading in the right direction. I just wanted to stay on course. I mean, because it's a lot of there's a lot of things that we could say negatively about this, but over my overall feeling, you know what, to be honest, the way the show is right now is kind of how I felt about watching Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even though it's a different story, like the story beats kind of go the same way. Because like the first couple of episodes was cool, and you got a filler, and then we got like two or three really standout episodes. We got the World Between Worlds. So like that's kind of how I feel about this right now. If we could string a couple more like really, really solid episodes, I'm like, okay. It was a cool watch. But yeah, I ain't
Yeah.
stressing.
Yeah, I
That's
ain't
all I really
stressing.
got.
That's all I really got to, like I said, this episode didn't really do anything to further the story too much. It was just an action. It was like, all right, y'all want action? Here's your action.
We appreciate that because the show that always gives us dialogue and no action, we still be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that is House of the Dragon. We got a review up for episodes 1 and 2. So if you're not caught up, please go back and get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 3, 7 p.m. Monday. By the way, we always drop on 7 p.m. On YouTube, regardless of the day. Monday for House of the Dragon, Wednesday for Star Wars, and on wherever you find your podcast as well. Yeah, man, I can't wait, yo.
Yeah.
I can't wait to next episode for both of these, and we will see you all next time.